My name is Josh Newall, and I'm a political science student at University of New Hampshire. And I just got back from my stay in Ghana, which is a 4-month long semester in Accra. And I'm here to talk to you guys about the different things in Ghana and about the program. First off, Ghana was great. It was a fantastic experience, and above all, it was definitely the most valuable experience I've had yet. I've been to a lot of different places, and I definitely learned the most in Ghana about myself and about the world. And I highly recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. I would recommend it to somebody, who's more adaptable and independent, because it's a lot different than here. It's here, in terms of the school, a lot of the things are laid out for you, and everything's simple and easy to do. But in Ghana, it's more of a problem to solve. In terms of classes and registration and getting in, everything's understaffed, and sometimes you just really need to figure it out for yourself. So I would definitely recommend somebody who's adaptable and who's independent and who can do things on their own accord without the help of others. But aside from that, Accra is great. So in terms of Accra in Ghana, Accra is a great city. It's a very big city, and you are situated in Legon, which is a section of the city, and it's definitely pretty secluded from the rest of Accra. Legon's an extremely beautiful place, and it's a great place, for a university and to go to school. But right outside of Legon is the more hectic Accra, which is just a very interesting city, and it's one of the main economic points in probably all of West Africa, and it's great. It might not be the most beautiful city you've ever been to, but it's still a very fun city with plenty to do. A lot of stuff they offer, just like home, movie theaters and nightclubs and restaurants and things like that. So pretty much you can find just about everything you're looking for, and just outside of Accra is there's plenty of traveling to do, and between the Volta region or the northern region, Cape Coast, and then hopefully things will start to settle down in Ivory Coast and along the other countries that border Ghana. So there's plenty of traveling to be done. West Africa is unbelievably beautiful, and it's also much to what you hear. It's an extremely safe place. I would walk around at night at 2 or 3 a.m. and come home, and I would never feel the slightest inclination of threat. Extremely peaceful and calm, and you rarely hear of anything, no physical violence, you rarely hear of it. The worst you'll hear is of maybe a robbery, and still, you'll never hear of physical violence. In terms of what students should know, I would say, like I was saying earlier, in terms of being adaptable, everything's not going to be laid out for you in terms of registration and classes and things like that. The registration process in Ghana is a lot different, and it's pretty tricky to figure out. So they give you plenty of time, but it's not something you can just go online and select each class you want. You have to you're first given a booklet, and then you have to go out and figure out which class they actually offer at each department, and then you have to try and align the class schedule so that nothing clashes. So it takes a little while, and it can be a little tricky, but like I said, they give you plenty of time, and that pretty much says a lot of how the rest of the semester goes, with being able to figure it out on your own, knowing that everything is not going to be just a click away, and knowing that, a lot of the times you're just going to have to kind of figure it out and do it for yourself. But aside from that, if you have that mentality, you'll be fine. As far as places to go in Ghana, Cape Coast is one of the most popular tourist attractions with the castles. But one thing about Cape Coast that a lot of people miss is Cocoon National Forest. And it is a jungle, and you can see all kinds of different animals, I believe from leopards to pretty much anything. In the northern part of Cocoon National Forest, there are elephants, but that's quite a ways away from actual Cape Coast. And you can do tree walks, you can sleep in the canopy. I slept in a tree house, I think 150 feet in the canopy at night. And yeah, so that's a major part that a lot of people overlook when they go to Cape Coast to see the castles, is not going to Cocoon National Forest, which is about 10 minutes away. And then on the opposite side of Ghana, which Accra is right in the middle, and Cape Coast is to the right, to the left is Bourgeois Beach, which is in Takoradi, I think. And it's about 6 hours out. And we stayed at a resort called Green Turtle, which had to be the most authentic, just little beachside resort I've ever been to in my life. Not much electricity and little huts, and just a completely serene, completely, unpopulated, very rural place that was just unbelievable. And then Volta, we went to the highest waterfalls in West Africa, Wheelie Falls, which I think that if you don't do that while you're in Ghana, you're missing a major part of Ghana. It's a great 2-hour hike. By the way, bring hiking boots. A lot of people brought flip-flops when they turn around. It's a very tough hike, but once you're there, it's got to be one of the most satisfying things you'll ever do. And then even outside of Ghana, Togo is great. Togo's not too far away, it's about 4 hours away. A lot of people went to Benin, which is Ghana, Togo, and then Benin, Ghana's borders Togo. Those are all great countries. They all used to be major tourist attractions with wonderful beaches, and it slowed down in the recent years, but now it's starting to pick up. It slowed down, I think, in the late 1990s and early 21st century, but it's really starting to pick up. Those are great places to go. A lot of people went to the northern region. I didn't, but I heard the northern region was fantastic. That's where you get to see, a more traditional safari experience with elephants and animals like that. The entire educational experience is, more than you could wish for in terms of learning about the country and the people and the experiences that you have traveling throughout. So while I wouldn't expect a completely intensive, very, rugged academic schedule, I would expect learning more things than you could definitely learn in probably one semester at UNH, in terms of learning about yourself and learning about the world and other people, in terms of being surrounded by people from all over the world, and learning pretty much how to adapt and just get to know the rest of the world. Chances are you'll be living at the International Student Hostel, either 1 or 2, which is a big dorm-like structure, and you're given a roommate, and it's just like pretty much any other dorm that you'd have here. 2 beds, and it's very open, and then you have a desk and a wardrobe and things like that. And in each of the dorms, International Student Hostel-ish, 1 or 2, you have a little cafe, which is called Tasty Treats, and they usually serve quite a bit of food. They can serve burgers or chicken burgers or pancakes or waffles, so a lot of the stuff that we would normally miss, that you can't get at the night market, which is, speaking of which, the night market is steps away, and they serve anything from egg sandwiches to kebabs and grilled foods to traditional Ghanaian food, a lot of fruit, and along with that they serve a lot of the stuff you just need every day. And chances are you'll have a Ghanaian roommate, which is great. My Ghanaian roommate made the experience 10 times better than it could have. Like I said, they're extremely helpful, and they just really help you in integrating you into the society and, answering questions and helping you out and showing you around. I think the first day I got in, 2 hours later I was out with my roommate exploring Accra. And, from there they teach you a lot, and it's a great relationship to build. I'll always have that relationship for the rest of my life. And yeah, it's very communal. The dorms are mostly going to be foreign students. You see a lot of people from Europe, a lot of people from China, a few different parts of Africa, and a lot of people from America. So a lot of people that you normally wouldn't see in Accra, but they put you right into the ish 1 or 2, and that's great. And in terms of that, it is not hard to make friends. It is not hard to find plenty of people to go out with and explore the country with. You'll never have a shortage of trying to find travel partners or things like that. So Ish is a great place to live. I am a senior, and I'm actually graduating tomorrow. So I spent my last semester in Ghana, which was great. And although it can be difficult at times in terms of being a senior and trying to get different classes that you need, in order to graduate. For instance, in Ghana, they usually have you do just one level of classes, which would be like a 400, and if you try and switch between 400 or 300 or 200, chances are you can have an exam that would clash, and they won't switch it for you. So they're very strict in terms of taking one type of class between, you know, a senior, a junior, a sophomore, a freshman. But I'm graduating, and I didn't have any problems, and this experience really helped me in terms of actually getting a job coming this September. I'll be focusing on analyzing emerging markets financially and investment-wise, and actually I meet with them next week, and I'm actually probably going to be focusing on Ghana and Nigeria. And this experience just completely paved the way for that. Due to the fact that I was living there, this company wanted me to focus on this region, and I was that much more valuable to them due to the fact that I lived there, and you know, I knew the experience, I knew the country, you know, from being there. So it's extremely valuable, and employers love it. I've sent out plenty of resumes, and that's one of the first questions I'm always asked is, you know, how was my time in Africa? Can you tell me more about that? So, you know, it's not a London. It's not, you know, it's a little more adventurous, and I think that employers respect it a lot more for somebody to kind of go outside their comfort zone like that and go to a place like Africa or, you know, something like that. So it's more valuable than I could possibly say, and, you know, in a tough job market like this, I think that it played a very substantial role in getting a job right out of college.